Hi, welcome back to my channel, and on this week the XT90 connector decides to melt and almost set fire to my Super Soco TC. So these are the images that I was actually greeted with when I arrived home, and my symptoms were that the bike stuttered and no power, immense power, no power, immense power. And I thought to myself, oh, something doesn't feel right there, I better ease off on the power, and then waited for it to cool down, and then tried the beans and it was going all right, so I didn't think anything more of it. Once I got into the once I parked it up, I could then start smelling something, and I thought to myself, I should really investigate here. And you're seeing it firsthand just like I did. So I saw the smoke marks top of the fuel tank, which was, and yeah, then decided something must be wrong. So once I ascertained where the problem was, as you can see here, I'm starting to disconnect the batteries. That breaks the circuit, and then it becomes quite safe. I was quite shocked. So you can see here the smoke damage around the top of the fuel tank. And this is from the inside of the fuel tank, all the smoke damage all the way around. And you can also see here, as I'm zooming in, the smoke damage to the fuse and to various electrical cables. According to Google, electrical solder melts at 188 degrees C or 370 degrees Fahrenheit. This is solder. That's solder. And this is what is left of my anti-spark XT90 connector. The XT60 connector that's in my hand has melted a tiny bit, but only because it was connected very closely to the XT90 connector, which has just melted apart, caught fire. Interestingly enough, all the other XT60 connectors, XT90 connectors, not one of them has any problems at all. It's just the anti-spark one. I'm uncovering the XT90 anti-spark connector to the XT60 connector. The burn is quite bad here, but luckily I'd had the foresight to use this fiberglass fireproof matting in between the connectors. That's the reason why the bike stayed running the whole time. It must have done 4 miles, like it actually in this state. And yeah, I was quite shocked, enough to allow it to burn so that the solder melted, because there's very little solder on these on these connectors. And yeah, and it burnt all the way through this XT90 connector on the negative side of the battery. But I've checked the footage of all the ampage settings. Never pulls any more than 76 amps. I'm very interested in finding out how the actual internals of the connector looks like on the negative side of this XT60 connector, and surprisingly enough, it just gently slides out, and that's what it looks like. Try not to do what I did and handle the burnt matter with your own fingers. Apparently there has been some research that it could be carcinogenic, and it's best to wear gloves. The batteries are covered in Kapton tape, which is high melting point tape. So, but as you can see here by the hole, wasn't quite high enough. This is actually part of the journey home. This is to prove that the bike never went over 76 amps. What do they call the damn thing? What does it do? The flux weakening starts happening at 76 amps. Thanks for watching my channel. please give me a thumbs up and subscribe. It's completely free.